Hey fellow babies, welcome back to this week's Pachter Factor. Appreciate your patronage if you're a SIFTD subscriber. If you're interested in supporting us and you're not a SIFTD subscriber, you're in YouTube. There's instructions on how to link your Twitch account to your Prime account if you're an Amazon Prime member in our description. So appreciate if you can do that and try to renew that each month. We get money and it's paid for by Amazon, so make it happen. The first question from SIFTD from Kevin. Who will be the biggest winners and losers this fall? The worst game will be the biggest loser. I'd say of the 5 big AAA titles coming out, the most at risk to have a under 80 Metacritic score is probably Battlefield. And I don't know that I would have said that a few weeks ago, but the delay is because there were glitches in the game that they had to fix. And is 4 or 5 weeks enough to fix them? Probably, but it makes me wonder, is the game below an 80 review score? It's possible. So I'd say they're the most likely 50-50 that they're below an 80. Assassin's Creed, this one really looks good. That game's never gotten more than like an 85, so it's probably gonna get an 80, 82. I'd say Fallout and Red Dead are the only two that have a chance of getting above a 90. Red Dead, I'd give a 90% chance of getting above a 90, and Fallout, I'd give a 50% chance. And Call of Duty, right smack in the middle. But the best Call of Duty game ever was Modern Warfare, was probably a 94 or something, and the worst ever were the last 2 Infinity Ward games, low 70s. But every other Call of Duty game got above an 80, and the Treyarch games consistently 83 and above. So I'd say this game, probably over-unders an 85. Fallout over-unders a 90. Red Dead over-unders a 92. And Assassin's over-unders an 80. And Battlefield's the one that's going to lose. They are last out of 5. So there's a term called wallet share. If you only have $60, you have to wait and not buy the other 4 to buy them. So they lose the wallet share race. They're probably going to lose the Metacritic race. And when I say biggest loser, relative to expectations, they'll still outsell one or more of those other games because it's a big franchise. EA's going to spend a ton on marketing. The lowest seller, probably Assassin's Creed. Not because it sucks, but because last year's version did super well and they took a year off prior to that. So last year had pent-up demand from 2 years between games. This one is coming on the heels of last year's, which did really, really well. And this year's, I think the Odyssey setting is cool, but again, I'm not sure the variety is enough. One could argue that about Call of Duty, of course, too. I think they're the ones that have the biggest chance of being below 10 million, and Battlefield next. So Battlefield probably outsells Assassins. Those two probably are the 2 lowest selling of the 5. Fallout players are Fallout players, and they're buying it no matter what. That's 15 million unless it sucks, and it won't. Our next question from Patreon, from Nick Carney, or Kearney, but I think it's Carney. Hey Pat, for a large online game bringing in plenty of revenue like GTA Online, what's the best strategy to avoid splitting the user base when an expansion or sequel is released? Well, the best strategy, which is highly unlikely that it will be adopted by Take-Two, is make GTA Online free to play. And if they were really smart, and they are, so I don't mean to say that they don't get it, they get it. They were really smart when they get to the point where nobody's buying GTA 5 anymore, and that's going to happen one day.
Is that ever going to come?
Yeah, exactly. But when they've saturated the market, and by the way, when they get there, they make GTA Online free. I think what they really should do, I don't think that they appreciate that most of the people who buy GTA actually like playing GTA. GTA is such a huge game. There's so much to do, and it's down to like $20 now. It's like you're not buying it to play GTA Online. You will do it, but you're buying it to play GTA. If you separate those two things and you say GTA is $20 and that's the full open world, single player, wonderful experience, but online's free for everybody, I actually don't think GTA sales suffer. I think you expose GTA by making it free to play to 200 million more people. And I think some meaningful percentage of them will buy GTA on PC because they're going to play GTA Online on PC. And during the free-to-play experience, advertise the game non-stop and I think you sell more GTA. So Take-Two, they are smart. Rockstar is smart. Take-Two management, super smart. They know this. So I think the best strategy is that. And I would do that a few years before GTA 6 launches. My personal view is GTA 6 is coming in 2023. And I'm not saying, yeah, but I'm not saying that as a diss on Take-Two. Red Dead is 8.5 years in development. It is September. I have not heard about a Rockstar game coming next year. We knew Red Dead was coming more than a year ago. So it is their practice to let us know about the game coming 1 year out. If you get past November and we don't hear about a Rockstar game next year, there isn't one. And I don't think that the roadblock is the studios. I think the roadblock is the top guys at Rockstar touch everything. They supervise the voiceover acting. They write the scripts. They approve everything, and that's why these games are so freaking great. So think of Sam and Dan Houser the way you think of James Cameron making Avatar, which came out in 2009, by the way, and isn't coming out next year. So he's taking more than 10 years because he's a perfectionist. His movie did over $2 billion in box office. It's worth taking 10 years. I do not begrudge those Rockstar guys taking 10 years. I don't. I know I'm projecting that, but we haven't heard about a 19 title. If they get 2 out in a year, we could get an acceleration. But make GTA Online free to play before that. You got a ton of content. Keep that team launching new content. And if you go from, the max they could have playing is 95 million players. They probably have 40, 50 million people who bought GTA who play online. They're doing 500 million a year. So call it $12 per user per year. That's about what Overwatch does. That's probably about what League of Legends does. I mean, that's about what you get. What happens when your install base goes from 40 million to 200 million? Man, you could be doing $1 billion a year, without much effort. So I think Rockstar and Take-Two get that, and I think that's going to happen. And then you have 200 million players strong into the launch of GTA 6, and you announce GTA 6 Online is not going to be free. You got to buy the game. Man, you sell 200 million copies. So I actually think that's where it's going. And by then, we're at our console-free, game downloads. You can stream it, you can play it, downloading to a cheaper device. Man, I think GTA is going to be 6, be the best-selling game of all time. Our next question from SIFTD from Julian Reed 77. Do games with low buzz stand to earn more net profit in the holiday shopping window than if they were released in the following first quarter? I think a good example, and I don't think you meant this because you said low buzz, but a good example is Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 was in a crowded window up against other shooters, Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. And even though that Call of Duty was bad, it outsold Titanfall 3-1. Because Call of Duty has a big following and a gigantic marketing budget, and Battlefield has a big following and a giant marketing budget, and Titanfall 2 got overlooked. Titanfall 1, which I believe launched in May when it came out in whatever year that was, 13 or something, just killed it, And so I think that games like Titanfall shine in that window. Watch Dogs, same thing. Watch Dogs 1 launched in May, I believe, killed it. Watch Dogs 2 launched at holiday, got overlooked. So games like Far Cry, really, that kind of explains it. They launched in March, they did really well. Game like Anthem, launching in February, I think will do really well. The Division 2 launched in March last time, February this time, I think does really well. So those are not low buzz games because you've heard of all of them. Any game that's off the radar screen that is launching, nobody even knows what it is, you can't stand out at holiday. It's impossible. So what I'd like to see, and I think you're going to see this, I'd like to see June, July, and August game releases with a marketing budget. I think that if you have a 2 or 3 million unit seller like a Dirt, those games would do really well in June, July when there is nothing else. And everybody's kind of done playing the Division and they're looking for something to do. So, we've had some really, we've had a bunch of these May games that are pleasant surprises. Then you had, remember Overwatch, June. I don't know why it was June. I assume it's because Blizzard couldn't get it done, to their satisfaction till June. That did not disappoint. I know it was a big buzz game, but that window doesn't hurt. And then you got Destiny 1 in September, which is an odd window, and it sold really well. So I think you're going to see the calendar compressed to the full year, and you're going to get June, July, August, September launches. And that's how it should be. More windows. You can really stand out with a small-ish game. What was Injustice, I think, launched in there too. I think Injustice was the spring game. Again, it's a great developer, but nobody knew what Injustice 1 was when it launched. I think Shadows of Mordor was like a September launch as well. So these are, again, good IP, great developers, but it's like Shadows of Mordor hadn't existed. I know it's Lord of the Rings, but they really tried to get out of that mainstream. It's different if you've got like a Batman game or something. You can probably stand out at holiday, but these smaller titles really need to have the spotlight shine. So I think it's a great question, and I think, yes, you make more money getting away from holiday. Our last question this week from YouTube, from Mr. Flash, who I'm hopeful is a Prime member and linked his Twitch account to Prime and clicked the button and is supporting us as a SIFTD subscriber. Will Nintendo release a separate handheld ever again, or do you think it will continue to focus on a console handheld hybrid model going forward? I don't know. And I've said repeatedly that I think that the Switch is a handheld, and the Switch is a handheld that just happens to be able to be plugged into your TV and displayed on your TV, but it's a handheld. So the better question is, will there be a Switch Lite? Will they make the Switch smaller with the Joy-Cons built in instead of latching on? Why not? I mean, if they can cut the cost of production down to $100 and sell the thing for $150, they should do that. And if I think they could probably do that with exactly the same innards, insides, and that would be an immensely popular handheld. So yes, I think they'll do it with the Switch. It's just that the name Switch meant you can switch back and forth. I don't know if they'll call it Switch, but I think that's doable. I think handhelds, they've just died, and they've died because of cell phones. The DS and 3DS peaked at 32 million units, hardware units a year, and averaged over 25 million for 5 years, from 2007 to 11. The 3DS, I think, started in the teens, but it's down to like 4 million units this year. And it's not because it's bad or there's no software, it's because every kid on the planet has a cell phone or a tablet, and there's a lot of free-to-play games that are good on the cell phone or the tablet. So if you can play Fortnite, why do you need to screw around and buy a 3DS? And so I think the handheld business is tough, but if Nintendo can create content like Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda and put them on a Switch Lite and it plays that level of quality, they'll be able to sell a lot of those. But no, I don't think that's ever going to be a big seller. That's it for this week's Pachter Factor. My fellow babies, we thank you for your support. I'll be wearing different clothes the next time you see me, but we're finished up with this month's editions. If you're a SIFTD subscriber on Patreon, thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you are an Amazon Prime member, please link your Twitch account to Prime, and you can cause Amazon to pay us. Just follow the instructions in the description below. If you are neither and you're watching for free on YouTube, definition of freeloading means you're free and you're a burden on us. And so in exchange for being a burden, you must follow me on Twitter. I want you to follow me and post. I'm following you because you guilted me into it, Pachter, at Michael Pachter. Follow Shane at Dinfire. Follow SIFTD Games at SIFTD Games. Thank you for your patronage. We look forward to seeing you again. It will be cooler next time I tape, so I'll be wearing a long sleeve t-shirt instead of a short sleeve t-shirt. I hope you guys enjoyed your summer. I hope you're back at work, school, play. Keep playing games. Thanks, little baby. See you later.